Dandavats, Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining me. If you like this video, feel free to leave a comment below or subscribe to my channel. So in this video, we're gonna go over some topics about seva and service in the Vrindavan atmosphere. Because it's an interesting topic and it's quite a detailed one, but there are some points of contention that I believe would be a lot would benefit by exploring them and thinking about them in different ways. So I'll just present some ideas here. So to start off, I want to say that, like, okay, when we think of the word seva, we think of very menial. Probably we immediately come to the mindset of like doing some menial thing, like a humble seva, like sweeping the floor or cleaning some pots or stringing a flower garland or something of that nature. So in connection with that, some people believe that as a Gaudiya Vaishnava or someone who is aspiring for love of Krishna, love of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan, that they must sort of in some ways maintain this externally humble ideal or service filled ideal. But see, the thing is, in Braj, the service manifests differently via the four primary rasas. So of course you have the embodiment of service in Braj. They're called the Dasya Ras devotees. They're kind of like menial servants, like I just described. They bathe Krishna, they dress him, they make all sorts of nice arrangements for Krishna, and that's a beautiful thing. So, but that's their idealized type of love. Then you have, okay, let's just take it. Then you have like sakas, friends of Krishna, that are serving Krishna via the mood of equality, via the mood of confidence and fearlessness, and they do not really. Well, there's 6 divisions of sakas, first of all, and so they all act a little differently. Their moods are a little different, but the idea of Sakiras, we'll just go with one of those subdivisions. It's called Priya Saka. So the Priya Saka, they're of unmixed mood. It is a full mood of Sakiras. So they're resplendent in the idea of equality, and so they serve Krishna by fighting him, by wrestling with him, by shoving him on the ground. So many boyish antics might be there, but just because it's not externally to our mundane intellect a humble seva, like for instance dressing him or whatever, doesn't mean that it's not humble and that it's not seva. It's just a different type of seva that Krishna is receiving, and Krishna wants all the types of seva. So the sevas, like I just said, are given to Krishna via the different rasas. So this one, Krishna wants to enjoy fighting, he wants to enjoy ego, he wants to enjoy pride, he wants to enjoy unabandoned laughter. So many nice moods are there in the exchange of love between the sakas, Krishna's cowherd boyfriends, and Krishna. So they don't they're not always of the disposition of some humble servant. And similarly, you have the Vatsalya Ras. They are Krishna's parental figures, and they, you could say they serve Krishna. Sure, you could say that. They're like giving him food and stuff and waking him up from bed. But that's not typically the idea of a servile mood. They're serving him, but through the medium of Vatsalya Ras. So they're serving him by loving him, by kissing his head, by smelling him to their chest like that, and by cooking all nice preparations, feeding him, and dressing him, and so many things that parents may do. So they're serving him in that way. And then you have, of course, the most famous of the four rasas, which is the Madhurya Ras, the Ujjval Ras. In many ways, it's considered the paramount expression of love of God, so this is the conjugal Ras of Krishna, and they're serving Krishna in many ways that amorous love. They're serving through the mood of amorous love. So they love Krishna in many romantic ways, and the things that lovers may do, but these are divine lovers. So they all love Krishna, but in that category, I'll just mention it briefly, is of course it's even more famous than just amorous love, but the Manjari-bhav, which means they are young in age and they are pretty absorbed in a servile mood but humbly serving Radha and Krishna and their Sakis. It's a type of Madhurya Ras, but you could say it has features of humble service like that. So the thing is, and something I wanted to point out is that, and also in Sakya Ras, there's a similar kind of very similar position called the Priyanarma Saka, and that is a Saka that's mixed with Madhurya Ras to some extent, and they also kind of act in similar ways to these Manjaris. So what I want to bring out here is that some people believe that these ideals that are at least mixed with service are the only ideals for a Raganuga devotee, for a devotee who is in our lineage, the Gaudiya Vaishnava lineage. It's a Raganuga lineage. So what does that mean? It means one who wants to attain Braj in the spontaneous mood of love, they hope to attain the path of raganuga-bhakti. So so some people believe that they must maintain this externally humble, service-filled mood towards another Brajbasi to attain Krishna. And there's nothing wrong with that. But see, the thing is, what I described before about this humble service mood, it may express itself differently via the four different rasas. So, okay, there's some people that believe that Manjari-bhav is like the only bhav for a Gaudiya Vaishnav. They believe that, and they give different reasons for that. And this video isn't, I'm not really going to get into the intricacies of Madhurya Ras or anything like that. I'm just bringing out a specific point because, see, people believe so highly in the Manjari-bhav because it's like really under the shelter of another gopi, that their service towards Radha and Krishna is like really manifesting under the service of another gopi. So in a lot of ways, it externally looks like a very humble menial service and type of relationship. And raganuga-bhakti, it's translated in a few different ways, but the idea is that you're always following in the wake of another Brajbasi. Of course, it's not called Raganuga-bhakti in Braj, but anyway, we're talking about from a conditioned soul's standpoint and their idealized aspirations. So, so, so coming back to that point of this service, but say like I was speaking of before, is that not every position in Braj is going to be one that's filled with this menial, quote unquote, service attitude. Like, for instance, these sakas that I just explained a few minutes back, they exemplify, sometimes they have menial attitudes, but a lot of the times they don't. And that is pleasing to Krishna. And so, but that doesn't mean that people aspiring for their position are not Raganuga Bhaktas, because, okay, say for instance someone is aspiring for the position of few Sridham, Sudam, Vasudam, Kinkini. Those are a few names of these unalloyed sakas that I just talked about. So the devotee will absolutely try to take shelter under that person, but when their perfection manifests in Braj, they will be under them, but in a different way than humble servant, menial servant. Like, for instance, like a Mandri may be towards Lalita Saki, or other gopis like that. So, or Radha and Krishna, Lalita Saki towards Radha and Krishna. So the thing is that these sakas these devotees who are aspiring for that ras of like pure unalloyed equality with Krishna, they will relate with their paradigmatic figure that they want to take shelter of in a different way, not one of menial seva. Maybe sometimes that manifests, but it will be in a different way, and that doesn't mean that they aren't eternally under their guidance. It just means that it's expressed externally in a different way. So, and like Priyanarma sakas, the sakas that are mixed with Madhurya Ras, they're also filled with a very, in many instances, they're serving the divine couple and serving the different gopis. So they so they also embody this similar mood to the Mandri. Externally, they look pretty similar. In many instances, they do similar things in their relationships with Krishna. But so what I'm trying to say is that is not the only path for a Raganuga devotee. Is just one of those, or is the Priyanarma Saka or the Mandri. But say if someone wants to take shelter of the mood of Mother Yashoda, Krishna's mother, then she will become their guru, and that person will eternally be under her guidance like that. But that may not look like eternal servitorship or menial seva, it might not manifest like that really at all. So in Braj, we have to really understand that service means to please Krishna. It doesn't mean menial, humble seva all the time. It's all totally humble because all of it is focused on Krishna. So that is the true meaning of humility and love and service. So we shouldn't let our mundane intellect interfere in this downward, this awakening of understanding of the Braj Prem, because you'll fall short. The intellect is always going to fall short of that. So so I know I said a lot in this video, but I hope I made sense, for the most part. It's a complicated topic, but in general, I think I conveyed it pretty well. So yeah, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to type it down below, and I'd love to discuss this matter further if you feel like it. Hope you have a beautiful day, and see you next time. Hare Krishna.